This is Bet That. I'm Alex Glaze. Guys, it's playoff time. Super wild card weekend. 6 games, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. Joined this week by Ben Cary of CapWize. Ben, we're going to break down all 6 games. You ready to roll?
Let's do it.
All right, let's start in Buffalo with the Bills laying 6.5 points against the Colts. This is the first home playoff game for the Bills in 25 years. But Ben, the big story here, this is also the first game this season where the Bills Mafia is going to be in the stands. Now, it's not going to be 72,000. It's not going to be 72,000. 7,000 fans in the stands, but you already know they're going to bring that energy. I like that. The big reason why I like the Bills in this one, this is going to be a big game for Josh Allen. He has to have a big game if the Bills are going to come out on top and cover in this game. And I think he can have that kind of game against the Colts secondary that's allowed 4 of the last 5 quarterbacks they faced to go over 300 yards. And the only quarterback that didn't go over 300 yards was Mike Glennon, and he threw for 261. So I think Josh Allen's going to be able to have a lot of success in this game, and I don't think Philip Rivers is going to be able to keep up. So I'm laying the points with the Bills.
Alex, I have to agree with you. The Bills' offense right now is on fire. Their receiving core is, I would say, just second to none to maybe a team like the Packers, right? They got Diggs on the outside. I mean, he is playing out of his mind. And then you have a guy like Cole Beasley in the slot who is just cooking guys, making them look silly. I think they continue their success offensively. The only thing that does worry me a little bit in this one is the Colts' run game. I think that's the only way that they can win this game is if they have a really steady attack with guys like Jonathan Taylor. But having said that, I think I have to roll with the Bills at 6.5. It's under a touchdown. And I like the over in this one. I think that Josh Allen's going to still continue to put up points. And I think the Colts will get a late score or 2 to push this one over the total. But I like the Bills to cover that 6.5. Go Bills Mafia.
The number was 7 for a little bit, dipped down to 6.5, and that's when I decided, I'm going to go in with that. Rams in Seattle to face the Seahawks. The Rams getting 3 points. Now, the big question in this game is who is going to be playing quarterback for the Rams? Is it going to be Jared Goff? He's practiced this week. He's throwing, he wasn't able to play last week because of the thumb surgery. There's a chance he might not be able to go again this week, and then the Rams would have to turn to John Wolford again. But my pick for this game, I don't care who's playing quarterback for the Rams for my pick. I'm rolling with the under, and I get it. This is the lowest total of the games this weekend. It's 42. It's really, really low, and it's really easy to Jedi mind trick yourself out of the under because you're like, oh, that's really, really low number, and just think I'm gonna go over. But the under 6-0 in the Seahawks' last 6 games, and regardless of who's playing quarterback, the Rams like to run the football. That's just what they do. They like to control clock. And the Seahawks, they're a team that's taken kind of a 180 from the beginning of the season here. Remember the beginning of the season?
Seriously.
Let Russ cook. Really strong offense, questionable defense. Now, good defense, and kind of questionable offense. They've been struggling, and I just don't think they're going to be able to get back on track against a really, really good Rams defense. So I'm rolling with the under.
I like the under too, and at CapWize here, we have a simulation model. It has this score at like 17-16 with Seattle winning. So very low score expected in this one. And I agree with you what you just said about the Seahawks, man. Night and day. I mean, they started out the season, Russell Wilson, looking like Aaron Rodgers out there throwing the ball like 45 times. And then they kind of reverse back to more like their playoff formula that we've seen in the years past with the Seahawks, right? Control the ball, control the line of scrimmage and time of possession. And the defense has positively regressed to a point where they're actually, playing better football. I mean, they were like bottom of the league for a while. So I still think that with this line of around 4.5, I do expect Goff to play because I think it will, potentially go up in the Seahawks' favor if he is out. So I think he does play, just basing it off of that number. But I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks, and I agree with you. I like the under in this one. I think this is a low-scoring game. And a guy like Cam Akers for the Rams has really started to put himself up there as one of the top rookie running backs. So I think he'll be back in this one. I know he missed a few games to end the season, but he should be healthy. But having said that, still like the Seahawks and the under.
Bucs on the road at Washington. The football team getting 8 points. Then I'm gonna let you kick this one off. Who are you feeling in this one?
Okay. So Tom Brady, right? I saw a fun stat. This is his first time playing in a wild card game.
Yeah, Brady doesn't do wild card weekend. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, this is new. There also are some funny stats out there too about how Tom Brady goes to bed early. I think this is a late game, so I'm not reading too much into that. I wanted to address that because some people like to, use that in their handicaps. I just wanted to bring it up. But the reason why I actually like the Washington football team is their defense. I've watched this team a few times in the season. This defense is insane. They got Sweat. They got Young on the outside. Chase Young made some comments about he wants Tom Brady. And I know a lot of people were like, whoa, kid, pump the brakes. You're a rookie. You don't talk to the GOAT like that. But if you watch Chase Young play lately, he has every right to come out and say something like that. This dude is playing out of his freaking mind. Guys are double teaming him and he's still getting to the quarterback. I think he's going to disrupt this passing attack. He's going to get in the backfield. Tom Brady's going to have a long day. Having said that, I still think the Bucs win this game, but I really like the Washington football team to cover. I believe I'm showing the line of 8.5. Alex, that's going to be one of my best bets of the NFL weekend.
I like everything you just said there. And my best bet for the weekend is actually coming from this game as well. You talked about Washington's defense. Tampa Bay's got a pretty good defense too. This is going to be this is going to be a defensive battle. And these are two teams that like to get after the quarterback. My pick for this game, I'm rolling with the under, setting right now at 45. I'm going with the under here. The Bucs, the second most quarterback pressures this season and rank third in the league in quarterback knockdowns per pressure. Alex Smith's been a nice story this year, but I think the Bucs are really going to try to get after him and make him as uncomfortable as possible. And the same thing is going to be said for Washington. Tom Brady has been great this season when he can sit back and pick teams apart. He has not been great when teams put pressure on him, right? Now, you mentioned Chase Young making his comments about wanting Tom Brady. And I think that Chase is going to have his chances to get to Brady, but he's going to have to work for him because statistically, the Bucs are one of the best offensive lines in the league. Pro Football Focus has Brady only getting pressure on 24% of his dropbacks this season. So this is going to be good on good. I like a good defensive matchup. Washington knows the key to this game is getting after Tom Brady. So I think that they're going to dial it up a little bit and really put the pressure on him. So I'm rolling with the under.
Yeah, and Alex, one quick point. Yeah, if this is a higher scoring game, Alex Smith and those boys, they're not going to hang. So it's got to be low scoring. So I like that under a lot.
Okay. Now, this is a tough game for me. I am a Ravens fan. The Titans have given me nightmares for over a year now. The Ravens favored by 3.5 points at Tennessee this weekend. I don't listen. The 3.5. I don't like the hook in that one. I might like the Ravens, but that's not my pick for this game. My pick is the under. The total 54.5. That is that's a really big number.
It is.
And 66% of the public bets right now are on the over, and I just don't get it. I don't see any way that this game reaches 55 points. Now, these are two teams that like to run the football. The Ravens have the top rushing offense in the NFL, and I don't know if you've heard of him, but the Titans have this running back. His name's Derrick Henry. He ran for 2,000 yards this year. He's kind of what keeps the engine going in Tennessee. So they're going to run the football, and when you run the football, you kill a lot of clock. And my only hope for this game is that Greg Roman learns from his past mistakes and does not get away from running the football. If the Ravens run the football, we know the Titans are going to try to run the football. I see this game going well under 54.5.
I agree with both those points. I think that this is an under game. Now, you did mention that they will keep the ball on the ground, both teams, but at some point they do have to stop them from getting in the end zone. And I actually think the team that's going to do that is the Ravens. I've watched the Ravens play.
Don't tease me.
Hey, you know what's funny is I was with a good friend of ours, Jesse Jones, watching that Titans game last season in the playoffs. So I don't know if we're buying the revenge narrative here, but you know what?
No,
I think
we're not buying that. Listen, I was watching that game. I was watching that game at a bar last year, and I will never watch a Ravens playoff game in public again. I'm gonna be alone watching that game and just in silence. I'm not being around people.
I feel you on that. It's like Super Bowl 48 when the Broncos played the Steelers or the Seahawks. I was in public, never again.
No.
2 years later, they won it though. So that could be some good foreshadowing for you, Glaze.
Okay.
Back to this one though. I like the Ravens a lot. Four out of their last 5 games they played this season, they've won by 14 points or more. They're 5-0 in their last 5 straight up. They're winning games by a large margin. They're dominating games, and they're keeping the ball on the ground. Lamar Jackson, I know that there is this narrative out earlier in the season that the defenses figure him out, but I actually think it's kind of back to last season. Knock on wood, what happened in the playoffs, but he's kind of putting the defenses back on their toes. So I do like the Ravens in this one. I actually like it more than the under. I'm not going to tease you, Alex, but I think the Ravens are in a really good spot in this one, the way they've been playing on both sides of the ball. So I'm going with the Ravens 3.5.
Saints at home, laying 10 points against the Bears. That is a big number. Now, 10 points, that is a ton of points to lay in the regular season, let alone the playoffs. Saints 4-4 against the spread at home this season. Alvin Kamara could be he's expected to be coming back from the COVID list in time for the game, but he won't be able to practice all week. So with all that said, Ben, I'm going to let you start this one. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, so the Bears, right? What a turnaround. Matt Nagy gave up the play calling duties about halfway through the season, and it's somewhat paid off. And Mitch Trubisky's playing good football, which is just weird for me to say, but it's the truth. I had to look back, Alex. Mitch Trubisky has one playoff start. They did lose the game 15-16 against the Eagles back in 2018, but he had a pretty good game. He had 303 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. So I actually think that Trubisky isn't going to somewhat lay an egg in this one, but you are playing against the Saints and their defense has been pretty damn good all season long. Man, 10 points is a lot. I've gone back and forth on this one. I'm going to lean with the Saints. It's not one of my more confident selections this week, but I like the Saints and I like the under. I think that with both teams, they're going to keep the ball on the ground. I like the Saints to get some red zone stops when it matters, and I'm going under in this one too.
I'm rolling with the Saints too, and I'm laying the points. I don't love it. The thing that kind of took me over the edge and pushed me that way is the Roquan Smith situation. He could be out this game with an elbow injury. Hasn't practiced, and there are reports out there that it might be a dislocated elbow, which is not good. Sounds really painful, but that's going to be a big loss for a Bears defense that can't really afford to be missing any of its dudes. So with that being said, I mean, the Saints offense, they've been rolling, and if the Bears are banged up on that side of the ball, I think Drew Brees is going to have a good time. And the thing about the Bears offense is they've been able to run the ball successfully with Mitch being back. And the Saints know that. I think that if they're able to take away the run and put the game in Mitch Trubisky's hands, then I think that's going to be their plan. And I'm not betting on Mitch Trubisky. I'm just not. 10 points. It seems like a lot, but I'm laying the points with the Saints. The final game of the wild card weekend, Browns in Pittsburgh face the Steelers. Steelers laying 6 points at home. Really unfortunate situation for the Browns back in the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. And now they're dealing with a COVID outbreak. And the NFL, they've come out and said that they're not going to change the schedule around for competitive reasons. So it sounds like this game is going to be played Sunday night as of right now. And that's just really unfortunate because, yes, the Browns are going to be missing a couple players, but they're also going to be missing a couple of coaches, including their head coach, Kevin Stefanski, who's been fantastic this year. And I think that is a huge loss for the Browns. You can't just plug in play callers. He has been a big part of why the Browns have been successful this season. So, and the Browns are also doing the virtual practices and walkthroughs this week, and it's really nasty. I'm you can't take the points in the Browns in that situation. So I'm laying the points with the Steelers. I don't love it, but I just don't see, I just can't side with the Browns right now.
Yeah. The Browns haven't made the playoffs since I think it was 2002, and they finally get back in, and now they have to deal with this. Right. But hey, you gotta, play with the cards you're dealt. So there is some hope for the Browns. I know Kevin Stefanski, head coach, is out, but the biggest thing that the Browns can do in this game is they have to run the ball. They really have to rely on the run game with Chubb and Hunt. I was taking a look at some stats. Steelers are allowing around 4.4 yards a carry, which ranks about half way in the NFL for all teams, around 15. Cleveland, conversely, is 4.8 yards a carry with the run game. So I think there's a bit of a mismatch here on that side of the ball. But having said that, I mean, having your head coach out for a playoff game is huge, and it's hard to really put the point value on that and how many points
Vegas has put the point value at 2.5. I think the number was 3.5.
It was 4.5, and now it's 6.
It's gone to 6.
This is a tough one. This is not one of my more confident plays, but Alex, I actually like the Browns still at +6. I think they can get some touchdowns and get some drives going with the run game, but I think ultimately the Steelers find a way to win this one. I think it's going to be a close game, and I'm leaning with the over. I think that, the Steelers are going to put up points with Big Ben and Tomlin, right? He has playoff experience. They know how to play in these games. I'm leaning over, and then Browns +6. Yeah, you can kind of hear in my voice, I'm not like the most confident on that one, but I have to go.
Mike Tomlin is chomping at the bit right now. He
is. Yeah.
It's a new season for him. He doesn't care about how the regular season went, all the problems that they've been dealing with. It is playoff time.
That is
Mike
true.
Tomlin is challenging his dudes right now to turn it up.
They better get those TikToks going, and they better get.
No, they need to stay off the TikToks. No TikToks.
Yeah, we're talking to you, Juju and Claypool.
All right, Ben. Thank you for your services this week.
Man.
Let the people know where they can find your work.
Yeah, you can find me on CapWize.com. That's Cap WIZE. You can find me on Twitter. I'm on TikTok too, actually. Funny I said that. But no dance videos for me. We're giving out a lot of good content, free picks. We have a simulation model that's been crushing it, and player props too as well. So check us out on the website. You can find us anywhere. I'll just put it that way.
All right. And you can follow me on social media as well at Alex_Glaze on Twitter. And also be sure to be following the 11 Alive YouTube page so you don't miss out on any of the fun that we have here on Bet That. Good luck this weekend, guys.